30 seconds and counting. Astronauts report it feels good. T-minus 25 seconds. 20 seconds and counting. T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's the deadbeat, as promised. Check me out. Goddamn, shit is real right now. It's got me to the point I'm in my fucking feels right now. Feeling deep and I got layers I should peel right now. But feeling stressed in a bitch, I need to chill right now. Cause I got weight that I carry, pain that I be facing. Got a million motherfuckers that would hate me if I make it. That's a grain of salt, I take it. Got a dream and I'ma chase it. Yeah, the fact is that we racing, but I'ma kill you with my patience. Let's face it, I'm that dude that's coming for that last spot. Walking with them shooters and them killers that be half-cocked. Most of y'all dress up in a costume like a mascot and talk about your money, but is you really getting cash, guap? I got dreams of superseding these lames, but it takes a lot of work just to achieve in this game. Wish I was T Grizzly, they could blow up my first joint. It's gonna take me some effort, I'm just trying to prove a point, homie. I fucks with you and trust me, it's all love, but I guess I'm in a position I gotta get it from the mud. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. With everything I'm going through, spoken it for years, so I guess it's time I show and prove. But I got wisdom that's like talking to an older you that put you hip this shit like after years that you gon' notice too. That life will throw some shit at you and you gon' shoulder through. Learn the hard way to show love to those that show to you. You got a secret, then your heart is where you hold it to. So if you told your fam, there ain't no telling who we told it to. So never buy into them lies that they done sold to you. I'm trying to make it to the top, it got the coldest view. I see it all for where I'm at, this shit I noticed too. Like all them times you gave your word that I'm gonna hold you to. I know you hate me for them dreams that I done sold to you. But even with that shit said, ain't no one bogus you. Ain't that shit fucking with your conscience, bitch, I hope it do. And when you say my fucking name, I hope you choking too. And when it's all said and done, I hope you know we through. Then that's not a threat, that's a promise, bitch, I hold it too.
What's up? What's up?
Good evening, everybody. For everybody in chat, this is going to be a touchy subject tonight. I don't know if you want to be seen in chat tonight. As much as we love you being here, I don't know. Touchy subject, do you think, good citizen?
It's a little touchy. I mean, definitely a little touchy. We got a guest up here tonight who was wrongly convicted, and he's got a story to tell. So he had got in touch with me a couple weeks back, said, "Hey, I want to come out and tell my story publicly. I was wrongly convicted. This is what happened." And I hadn't had much time, and you hadn't had much time to put a show together for it, but was able to make it happen tonight. And yeah, it's a little touchy. So
Where do you want to get started?
well, I suppose we can introduce our guests here. We got Recall Vern, and we got Mike Sexton up here.
Hi, everybody.
And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put this link in here because I know that there's people in here that are gonna have questions if they choose to participate in this show. So that's on to them. But everybody's gonna have an opinion. So that's fine. But either way, we're gonna run a short show here, and we're just gonna see where it goes, how long it goes for, I suppose. But so we was called out for associating with a registered sex offender, which we didn't get a chance to do the show on before we was called out. So that's our bad, right? But Mike here was wrongly convicted, and it was a sex offender charge. And so now they're trying to drag our name through the mud, because we was gonna let Mike tell his story. You guys might also know Mike from the video of the music "Turn It Down." You know, the Footloose video here in Aguilar. That's him, and so they're using that as we support Mike and this, that, and the other, not knowing that we had already planned a show. We just hadn't made it happen yet. So Mike's
And I,
charges were deferred adjudication. So after 10 years of probation, his charges were sealed. Um, but for some reason, his charges being sealed isn't the same as Fake and Bacon's charges being sealed. So, you know, uh,
No. It's different. Different type of adjudication, apparently.
different.
that's because there's not a registry for people who commit crimes using a gun.
Right.
True.
Yeah,
Well,
that's an entirely separate deal from the whole probation thing. That law came along 5 years after I was into this.
Yeah, and if you'd like to introduce yourself, Mike, and start maybe at the top of the story so people can kind of follow what's going on here.
Okay. I'm not sure where you want me to start at this, but this whole accusation came about because at around 2.5, my daughter got a yeast infection. And, of course, went to the doctor. My ex-wife starts questioning the doctor about whether or not she had been molested. And the doctor is saying, that's always a possibility, but I don't see anything else to make me think that's right. And here's a long list of reasons why she could have a yeast infection otherwise. Well, the ex-wife did not want to let go of this. We went to our daycare, and she insisted they do an investigation. They found nothing wrong. Then after that, she started accusing my dad of having done it because she thought she got an obscene phone call from him, and that means he's a pervert. But it wasn't him. Then it was little boy next door and the boys at school. And when we come to get a divorce, then it becomes me. That this is all because I went on a business trip. And while I was gone, my daughter makes the statement, "I'm glad Daddy's not here. He makes me feel bad." Now, that is what they take as her outcry that I'm doing something to her.
Shit, my daughter says that about me every day.
Well, and like he's the one in charge of the discipline as well, right?
I'm doing the discipline and stuff. I did everything for her. I'm the one that got her up in the morning. I'm the one that took her to school and brought her home and made her dinner and made her lunches and cleaned her clothes and everything. My ex-wife sat on the couch, curled up, smoking cigarettes while I did this shit. But yeah, where was I?
Your daughter said you make her feel bad or something.
Right. Excuse me. I've got a bit of a cold here, so I'm still coughing a lot. So yeah, she takes off that weekend. I come home to an empty house. I already knew we were going to separate. That seemed pretty inevitable. For 2 weeks, I didn't know where she or the kids were. Finally, I found out when she calls up because she wants to come get more stuff. They did that. That's July 3rd. So July 4th, I went down to see the kids. She was staying with her parents. Just a visit. We fired fireworks. But I come home, and then that Wednesday, I'm at work, and a processor comes up and serves me a restraining order. And I'm like, what the hell's this? And it's in there. That's where she's accusing me of having touched her, and they're ordering me to stay away.
No.
It took. That was in July of '88, and it took till April of '92 before I settled the plea bargain and went on probation. Because for about 2 years, my file was lost. You know, as if I could step aside here for a second, talk about this deferred adjudication, because it seems that people outside of Texas don't understand this. You get deferred adjudication, you have certain standards that you have to meet, such as that it couldn't be an aggravated offense. I'm sorry. This is also complicated. It gets difficult for me to try and tell.
Mike, you want me to explain what it is?
Yeah, that's where I was. I'll do it.
Okay.
In Texas, if you take a deferred adjudication, what that means is they're deferring adjudicating your sentence until you've completed it. So the notion is you can't do this for more than 10 years. If you're something that requires more than that, you don't qualify for it. But the notion is that you serve your probation, you let them watch you and test you, whatever it is they want to do. And if at the end of 10 years, there's been no other offense, then you're released and the case is sealed. And that's supposed to be the end of it. What's different for me is you got a sex offender registration law that's entirely different that I have to comply with. In Texas, it's a lifetime registration. It's not here in Colorado. I think, I'm not real sure. They have some clause about after 20 years after completing a sentence, you can be released under certain conditions. But I don't know if that applies to me because I'm from Texas, and most people honor what your home state, offers. But yeah, okay. Let me regather here. Yeah, so I was trying to explain what deferred adjudication is. So in Colorado, they don't have deferred adjudication, or at least not for sex offenses. So their only option would be to put not guilty or convicted. So they're not going to put you up there and say not guilty. So they use convicted. This is what Adam keeps harping on. As to why that makes a difference, I'm not sure, but yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if he wants to come up tonight. I'm put the link here, and I know I'm gonna put it in my chat. I think you people has it probably pinned on his, but we'll let people come up if they have questions as well.
The PDF, you're right. They were trying to discuss this, or you people tried to tell them this on the show last night. If you get caught urinating in public, you will be required to register as a sex offender for 10 years or something if you're under 18, or I think it's a lifetime registration if you're an adult. It's indecent exposure. Even if you're out in the middle of your cornfield doing it, but a cop happens to see you, it's a charge.
Well, and this is back 92, wasn't it? Like things was much
Right.
different then as well.
Well, yeah,
right now
in the 80s and 90s, there was a huge fever over this because there were some national cases going on. You might want to remember.
So yeah, Jane, we started off, Jane, at the top of the show, letting everybody know. Mike got a hold of me a couple weeks, I don't know, 3 months, a month ago, or 3 weeks, a month ago, and said, because somebody had blasted him on social media, and he wanted a chance to tell a story. He had contacted me. We've been talking. His story's pretty wild. Like, wrongfully convicted, and basically he's got to register for life for something, I don't believe he did, but everybody's gonna have their opinion. We're letting him have a chance to tell his story here tonight, and anybody feel free to ask questions. But it stemmed from a bad divorce, and just kind of went downhill from there. This was in '92 in Texas.
Yeah,
So,
lawyers in Texas called it a SAD, a sexual assault in the course of a divorce.
yeah. Yeah, and I know you said the DA had him a heck of a motto too.
Yeah. Well, that's, I know people want documentation and stuff. I once had this, but geez, this was a long time ago. I didn't keep this stuff forever. I didn't think it'd ever be important. But anyway,
Yeah, let's
there was
see
an
here.
article.
Here's the we got the adjudication pulled up too from '92. We got that pulled up, and you can see it was a 10-year deferred adjudication. All right, so Exile's in my basement. I'm sure he's gonna ask some questions. Um, because I mean, we got the beginning of the story out. Maybe some people missed something. So Exile's pretty good with questions. Let's see what he might have.
No, I want him to go further through his story before I ask any questions.
Yeah, so all right, go ahead, Mike.
Okay, well, I started to say an article came out in the Fort Worth Star Telegram. As I remember, it was like 4 to 6 months after I started probation. And the assistant district attorney in charge of the Crimes Against Children unit was making a public speech. She was beginning her campaign to run for DA in Dallas. And she made the statement in there that it was the opinion of her department that it was better that a few innocent people be wrongly convicted than to allow a guilty person to go free. And absolutely nothing said about this. No outrage from the newspaper, not from people. Just stating publicly she's going to violate the Constitution. And there's no outrage to it because it's about sex offenders. And nobody cares what they do to them. But yeah, I mean, she admits in the public that she's wrongly convicting people. I said I kept that article for 10 years. But when I finished my probation, I had a party. And one of the things I did is had a ritual burning of all this shit I had been carrying for 10 years. And frankly, at that time, I made myself a promise. I'd been having to explain myself to people for 10 years, and I was fucking sick of it, and I wasn't going to do it anymore. You can take it or leave it with me, you know. My neighbors in Bedford, where I lived, they all stood up for me. I had people trying to do this same stuff, the neighbors in the neighborhood. They all told them to go screw themselves. They knew me, and they didn't believe it. And this is before I'd even told them anything about it.
Right, like I knew that you're a registered sex offender before you had approached me wanting to tell your story. Like I had already done my research on that, and I had watched you for a while before we'd even spoke.
That does
And
lead me to a question, and it'll be the same question I asked you people the other day, good citizen. Why didn't you bring it to our attention as well, knowing that we would
uh,
find out
I
about this?
I don't know what your schedule is like, Exile, but like we have real life to keep up with as well.
I
So we're
understand,
lucky if we're able to get
bro.
2, maybe 3 shows out of a week is pushing it. And to line up me, you people, and Mike all at the same time hasn't
Bro,
happened.
it don't take
We've
me
talked
very
about it on past shows and let
it,
everybody know that we
okay.
were planning to bring him up and do this show. But
Oh,
we
so
felt it needs a full show. Like I'm not just gonna have him up as a
hold on,
guest
hold on. So
and
what you're saying,
and and touch on it.
Tash, you said something about his record and that you was gonna bring it to the forefront later on.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
I was unaware of that. That's why I'm
Yeah. On a
asking.
panel. Mike has
Yeah,
been on our panel before. We weren't trying to
no,
hide him. We just said that we wouldn't. We
this
wanted to
is
give
I'm
his
getting
story
hard,
full
bro.
attention, not
Bro,
Now,
half-ass it.
I'm not
hold
here
on. I
to
want like
smoke you. You
Exile. Can
people
I
should
ask
let you
you a
know.
question?
Yeah, what's up?
Now, why are you accepting that answer from him, but you didn't accept that answer from me last night?
I haven't moved forward enough yet. That's cool and all. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I'm glad you guys did that, and that's confirmation of what you were saying. You peoples, after you left the panel, there was more said in your favor
Oh,
after
I
you
I
left.
didn't leave. I got kicked off the panel, but that's okay.
Okay,
I'm
we
not
we
butthurt about that.
we have
It's all good.
suspicions that this may be a government shill right here, this gentleman. If you're not, it's a really bad look for everybody. Honestly,
No, it's fake and
Yeah,
bacon
but
trying to throw me and you people under the bus. He
yeah, but
already
yeah,
knows that
we
we
were
plan to do this story. He already
we were
knows it.
also hold on. We were also lumped in with Tyra and Adam and everybody else. We're all working in a team, right?
hmm
Let me tell you, Exiled One, if I'm a shill for the government, then they knew 2.5 years in advance that Adam Casillas was going to pose as Joseph Thompson and out my sex offender registration because I've been living here for 2.5 years before any of this started. So yeah, they had some great foresight in order to place me here.
Well, some of those operations run so funny and zigzag lines, so you can't catch on. If you know the
Yeah.
catch the patterns. We're going to be checking deeper into that to see if you're a government shield. But if not, I mean, it's kind of a
Well,
bad thing that our brothers didn't bring you to our attention so we could address this ahead of time.
yeah.
Because did you say that your daughter went along with the accusation that you touched her, sir?
Uh, well, she was 5 years old at the time.
Yeah,
Uh,
and
you know,
5 years
I have right. I have not spoken
lying
to
is
her since. I've
that
not
she would
spoken
not
with her
lie.
since she was 7.
Yeah, at 5 years old, she wouldn't lie on her father. She's got enough brain development to know how she feels about her father, to know
Yeah.
that something like that
Actually,
would be
No,
inappropriate to say.
hold on,
that's not
hold
what.
on,
That's not what the
hold on,
psychologists and
Mike.
psychiatrists say.
Mike, I was just about to get to that. I can use my own kids as an example on that. My ex-wife turned my son against me, Exile. I can use my own example for that. And he was 5 years old
Mm-hmm.
telling me he hated me and
So this
I
is a
beat his
decade
hold
later.
on, hold on, hold on. And I beat his mother. And
What
that's
what what
why he hated me.
what's this
I never
gentleman's
touched his mother.
what's this gentleman's daughter's current story since it's a decade later? What's she
So
saying about dad now? Because you
Well,
can remember those memories.
that's a very good question and one that I just love to answer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When my daughter was a senior in high school, and I haven't spoken with either of the kids in years because I'm not allowed to, I get a postcard from the ex wife. Leah got married on X day in November. Well, she's 17 years old and a senior in high school. But she had sent pictures and she had a boyfriend, I thought. Okay, years go by. I kind of spit and sputter into contact with my son, and we develop a good relationship, and we still have it today. And I just find out from him about 2 years ago that the reason she got married is that she got pregnant by a 23-year-old man. That is a first degree felony in Texas. That man did not get convicted. That man did not get reported. That man got to marry my daughter. You know why? Because he was a goddamn cop.
I don't agree with that neither, sir. But the thing is, there's still questionability, and that dance right there does not answer the question. What does your daughter have to say
I
about what
okay.
she said about dad when
All
she
right.
was
So
5?
let me finish that. He now knows that he has there's no statute of limitations on this. He got fired from that police department. And by the way, her stepdad was his co-worker, also a policeman in that police department. They all committed felonies when they didn't report him in Texas. But they have been what I would call on the run since they got married. He has, one time they were living in a hunting shack out in central Texas somewhere. Today they're up in Thermopolis, Wyoming. Every time he thinks the heat is coming on, he moves them. She has no contact with my ex-wife that I can see through Facebook. My son says he rarely has spoken to her since she got married. You know, and this is just real typical of somebody who has groomed a child, and kept them, as their property in there. He's taken her off and he keeps her separated from her family. He keeps her separated from the public because he knows all you got to do is look at his birth certificate, her birth certificate, and the first daughter's birth certificate, and he's guilty of a first degree felony in Texas with no statute of limitations.
I'm
So
talking about
I haven't heard from her. I can say nobody has. or
So,
very
so,
little. Put it that way.
so no one here knows what her opinion is about what she said when she was 5 years old.
Right. My son tells me they never talked about it.
At the current time, she's 17 years old. So, in my opinion, she's non-contactable to ask these questions to.
No. She's 40 years old.
I'm talking
Yeah, she's
about.
40 now,
I'm
but she's
talking.
not. I'm sure she's not too easy to get a hold of. Like you said, she's kind of a gypsy at this point.
No,
Yeah.
I personally, I have stayed away from it because
Wait.
I do not want to meet this husband of hers. That will not go well. But they've got kids that are 20 years old, and I'm not going to go turn their life upside down. These are grandchildren. These are grandchildren I've never met.
Okay, so you
hold on.
Yeah, because this case
give him a second.
All right, so your daughter, when she was 5 years old, she's now 40 something.
Yeah, 40.
Okay, so she can be traced and contacted to ask about her experience and what the truth of it is, regardless
I would think so. Yeah,
life or not. We'll figure that out. We'll find a way to do that. Trust me. This is not going to be a one-part series thing with you, but I mean, I'm seeing a classic thing. See, the thing you brought up about psychology is correct, but did you also know in psychology, when a child lies like that, it's because the parent is abusive. That's when a child lies like that.
Now, here's the way the interview went. As I only got a brief look at this.
Well, that's what psychology says. You try to use that in your argument. Another thing that psychologist says is when you ask a direct question to these quote unquote pedophiles, they will deflect to another discussion or another person. And you have shown that classic example, sir.
How's that?
Because when I brought up the fact of what does your daughter have to think about dad and what she said about dad, you being dad, you deflected to her current husband.
Well, yeah, that was my explanation as to why I have no idea what she thinks. I haven't talked to her in 34 years.
That shouldn't have been your explanation. Your explanation should have been straightforward.
But give me the example. What would you have liked to have heard me say?
If you would have asked me that question, I'd have been like, to be honest with you, I have not been in contact with my daughter.
Is that what I not said?
Her husband would not be a part of the discussion. That is
you went into a full
I have not. I cannot.
You went into
you weren't listening to. He is hiding her.
Why would he be hiding a 40-year-old woman?
Okay, because he committed aggravated sexual assault of a child in Texas. That's a first-degree felony. There is no statute of limitations on that.
Okay, so
you could go today and you could get the 3 birth certificates and hand them to the DA or ADA. If they're honest, they have to file charges on it because you've just notified them of somebody who's committed a first-degree felony in Texas. He knows this and he keeps on the move. Like I say, I see no evidence that my wife has or ex-wife has contact with her. My son says he's hardly spoken to her in the last since she got married. Of course, I wasn't allowed to. And then I waited to see if these kids were going to contact me. I didn't go out and reach out to them. My son, Rich, reached out to me and we formed a good relationship. She hasn't. But I personally, I think he controls her. But I mean, I know very little other than what I can see on Facebook about him. Because I haven't spoken to him in, like I said, 34 years.
All right. Hey, fellas, I'm going to be back in a few minutes because I'm actually sitting in front of a Walmart and I got to do my wife a favor. But I will be back probably about.
Yeah. So we got some questions in the chat.
Yeah.
Here too,
No, Gail.
So
no, Gail, there's never been any accusations before or since. And, this sister-in-law who was a part of this, she had 4 kids. Did any of them come up and go, oh, yeah, he was touching me too? They were asked. And, I know there were all kinds of people that were asked.
Who's Mike? So Snarkus asked, we're doing a show tonight. It's a little different than what we usually do. Uh, Mike is well, he's just on the sex offender registry. Um, he was wrongfully convicted in '92. Uh, he had a deferred adjudication, sealed his record and stuff. And here locally, they wanted to try beating up on him lately. And he was the one in the "Turn the Music Down" video, and so we wasn't able to get on the show, me, him, and you people prior to that video coming out. But now we associate with sex offenders, so we have Mike up here trying to answer some questions, um, so people can understand the story better. So Jane wants to know, will you have to register for the rest of your life for Mike? I think if he pays enough money, he could get off that registry, but it's all about money.
Yeah, Texas. I mean, I'm sorry, Colorado has a law that says if you committed a non-aggravated offense 20 years after you've completed whatever term you were given, you can file for a release from sex offender registration. But I'm not sure that would apply to me because in Texas it's lifetime, and generally they'll honor that. But yeah, I don't know because I don't have the money to go find out.
Right, it all costs money, no doubt about that. And it's all the way back from '92, Snark and Sass. Um, just kind of being brought back up because somebody here locally decided that they was gonna call him out on it and try to uh, make him look bad, basically, and in turn make me and you people look bad when we were already investigating everything and getting to the bottom of what was going on. Um, so we had planned to have him on the show. Finally, the time lined up. What's up, Yeet? You got any questions for
What's
Mike?
going on, good citizen media? No, not tonight. I just come up, say hi to everybody in the chat. You people, good
What's up,
citizens.
UB?
I'm not trying to throw y'all off
Well,
topic.
if you come up here, bro, you're gonna be associated with a sex offender and thrown under the bus like me and you people.
These
So,
motherfuckers been throwing me under every kind of bus for the past 5 years, and they can keep on doing it because they know I don't give
I
no
know, right?
flying fucks.
That's what I say too, man. Shit's funny. But on the
Oh
good news
shit.
though, AC and Bird are gonna come here and fix Aguilar right up. I mean,
Yeah,
shit, in
they
two
are.
months or less, this town's gonna be it's gonna be high stepping. We're
Thanks,
gonna have
Bird.
to.
Thanks, AC. Thanks,
Yep.
Joe Cool. Don't
Appreciate
forget
you
about Joe
guys.
Cool. Joe
We're
Cool's
going
going to
on
be involved
vacation.
in all that.
Yeah, Joe Cool's
Yeah,
gonna help out. He's coming to do that. So me and you people can take a vacation because our 8 months here, we ain't done shit. So
right.
they're gonna show us how it's done. Um,
We
should be
can't
some
we
good
can't do nothing
content.
right. So
Right. What's up, sci-fi?
can't wait to
Yeah.
Hi,
see what
Jane.
kind of stuff they come up with from Tyra. Hey, maybe Joe Cool will get the 500 pages of fucking Vern's fucking Facebook fucking posts.
You know.
Maybe somebody will finally pick that motherfucker up.
Hi,
Right.
Snark and Sass.
It's funny, man. But yeah, we just had Mike up here explaining the story because all the way back in '92. Yeah, wrongful conviction, and it's just stuck with him because he's on the damn registry, man. So,
Yeah.
uh, like, what do you
Well,
do?
and didn't you guys
So,
just now find out about this when they found out about it?
No,
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 That's a
no.
question I have.
No,
I've
we
known for he contacted me, reached out to me probably a month or so ago, and told me he wanted to come on here and tell his story because you know, he wanted to get it out there, clear his name, you know. Um, a lot of local viewers watch this as well, and he wouldn't mind, going out and watching a cop or two, So he contacted me, but you already know me and you people's schedule's been crazy. Mike's schedule's crazy, so we weren't able to do a whole lot.
but it's not like we didn't let people know either. I mean, we've said
Right,
it
we
in
just kept
shows before.
researching.
He's said his story in a show before. Like, wasn't a big deal until certain people got involved. But it's okay because,
So
you know,
was
they're
it
going to
more of
handle it. They're going to
interviewing instead
manage
of
it.
helping?
Huh?
Was it more of interviewing instead of helping? Just kind of, getting the story, asking, different questions, things like that. Like an
As of
Well,
interview.
tonight,
there's
yeah, kind of.
there
I
were
mean, if
there
you
were
had any questions, go ahead.
there were two reasons why I contacted Good Citizen. I watched one of his videos, and he was out cop watching, and he made the remark that he has to go out by himself because that he's got no one to watch his back. I said, okay, well, I don't mind doing that. I'm certainly not afraid of cops. I've had my deal with them. But also at the same time, around the same time, this Adam Casillas posing as Joseph Thompson starts posting up on our local Facebook groups my sex offender registration status in there. So, I went to Good Citizen and I said, look, I'll be glad to ride along with you and watch your back on these cop watches, but you got to know I come with a lot of baggage. And so I told him what the story was. And, he said, this is going to happen. But, these been stand-up guys with me, and, they're putting themselves out there to take up for me.
I personally believe what Mike is telling me is to be truth. So, I mean, that's the main thing. I mean, the man's looked me in the eye and told me the story, and I believe it to be true, and the logic is there. So, and from the records and the investigation that me and you people have done for almost 3 weeks into it, uh, we're not we're not able to find anything from 92 as far as like case files and stuff like that. Like you say, it's a little hard to get case files that old. Um, with her being a rambler, it's kind of hard to get in contact with
Right.
the
And,
daughter.
and nowadays, too, they're also expunging a lot of cases once they're so old and the person hasn't gotten into trouble.
Right. Well, and that's
Right. Well, and
what he would like to do,
it's
but
adjudicated. The charge has been adjudicated. He did his time, and it was just a probation thing, because there wasn't nothing to make stick. So it was a probation thing, deferred adjudication. He had to do once the probation was done, everything was sealed. But now recently here, this Adam Casillas, old fake and bacon, has been trying to throw it back up in his face and use it to degrade him. Uh, and have people threaten his life. Like one of the comments on one of those posts was paint him red. Like anybody that knows this guy, like I mean, like he'd help anybody out as well. Like I watched him house a homeless guy here in town just to help him out because he's a human. Like he's that type of guy. So anybody that knows him personally, last thing you want to do is see him painted red. You know what I mean? And so
Well,
that kind of got under my skin that he was getting threats for something that, I know how the courts are. I think we all know how the courts are. And shit happens like this, man. And after hearing his story, I mean, I had no choice but to believe it. It's all the pieces line right up for me. So, I figured everybody's opinion's different though. So having
right.
him on the
And
show is going to bring different questions and opinions.
that's
right.
between, you and him, and you're able to get vibes a little bit more,
And
especially
and
in person as
And I
well.
wanted to make sure to give him a full show, Yeet. Like I didn't want to like just bring him on and talk about this for a half hour and then be like,
Well,
that's it.
yeah.
I wanted to make sure he had time to explain the story and people had time to ask questions that they feel pertinent to it, because AC and them are trying to call us out, for hanging out with Mike when obviously they
What the
don't
hell?
know the
I thought y'all
story.
were just like best friends the other night.
Yeah.
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 Fake and Bacon
Well,
went over on his show, and the town administrator, Fake and Bacon, Joe Cool, Bird, and AC are going to take over the case here. So, I mean, you people can have a much needed vacation.
yeah,
It's funny.
we're working too hard. We're not getting the right records and whatnot and so
Yeah,
forth. And that augmentation pond isn't built yet. That's our fault too. So
yeah,
I hear
Well,
Bird's gonna have that motherfucker done in like 2 months. So
2 months.
I
I
can't,
mean,
yeah, I
that's
can't
fire.
wait, man. I can't
Well,
wait.
Bird's
He's
on
going to
it.
be pulling all types of records and stuff. I can't wait to see what he gets from Dyer.
Yeah.
Well, you got to
Yeah.
remember too,
Show
when it comes to these
this
kinds of
skinny crackhead motherfucker how it's done, Bird.
things.
You know?
Well, so when it comes to these kinds of situations, you got to remember, the host of a channel, any channel, can allow that person to come up onto the, show that way. They're able to tell their story. They got the question, but just because, they meet up, whatever the circumstance might be, me, that until I see paperwork, I don't give my commentary of what I think, guilty, not
Yeah.
guilty, things of that
Yeah,
nature,
and
because
this guy's got
we've
his
been told one
paperwork.
thing.
Right there's the paperwork, like 10 years
Yeah,
deferred
but if
adjudication, bro. And he
Back in
completed it.
92.
So this shit's old as hell. Uh, but yeah,
did you attempt to fight
no,
it, or
Snark and Sass, you're wrong. Shit show's taking over on the case. They're gonna get Aguilar whipped right into shape. They're gonna get these people drinkable water. They're gonna
Yep.
get into the budget. They're gonna find all
I
that
didn't
out.
even know
They're
that this was
also
going on?
investigating me and you people as well. They're gonna make sure they get to the bottom of us.
Well, hey,
And
at least
Yep.
they're not making
uh,
videos of you going down, cartoon videos of you going down on another man for hours on end.
that's next
Not
week,
yet.
Yeet. Don't give out
That's
all the
next
fucking
week. Don't give
spoilers.
out their show. Come
Shit's
on,
Sunday,
man.
man.
Well, I mean, we already know how fucking predictable the dumbass is. I mean, he better be careful what he says about me, because I'm about $40 gas tank away from that little fucking town in South
Well,
Texas.
I see none of them are on the show here. I mean, me and you people are both live on both channels. I see that they're not on either show,
No,
but
they're just recording.
yeah, they're just recording. But they'll get it all figured out, and they'll whip this town right into shape,
Yep.
and then me and you people can take our vacation. You
Yep.
know?
So, citizens of Aguilar, please help out Bird, Joe
Yes,
Cool, and AC with as much help and hospitality as you can.
yes. And don't forget to visit their show. You can find it here. The shit show. That's with a Y, not an I. You guys have any questions or concerns? Just holler at them here. They'll get Aguilar straightened right around. No time flat.
And let that
You know.
bastard know that Yeet wants a refund on that sundress or his selfie.
Shit. Right, one of the two, right? Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
so,
It's just
Mike,
like I say.
Yeet asked you if you tried fighting this.
Yeah, I thought he was going there. No, I didn't, because I had 3 lawyers involved in this, and every one of them told me I'd be stupid to do that. My divorce attorney, down where she had moved to, when I go to meet with him after we discuss the divorce stuff, he looks at me and he says, "You're fucked." And I'm like, "What?" I used to be a prosecutor in Travis County for these kind of things, and I'm just telling you right now, you're fucked. You're gonna serve something. It's just a question of what. Well, okay. Here's how this works. In Texas, if the victim is under the age of, I think it's 12, they are allowed to videotape their testimony. So if they, in discovery, if they say you're going to cross-examine, they'll go to the judge and request that. The judge always grants it. So here's how a trial will happen. They open up. They tell the prosecutor, okay, you go ahead and start. It's ladies and gentlemen of the jury. This child is so harmed by what this horrible man did to her that the judge has allowed us to videotape her testimony so she doesn't have to be in the same courtroom with him. Now watch this. It's a rehearsed testimony done on a video. So what am I supposed to do? I can't cross-examine a videotape. Can't put her on the trial because they didn't. I can't put the ex-wife up there. She's not on trial. All I could do is say, okay, put me up there. Well, that would just be really stupid. It's like, Mr. Sexton, how many times did you masturbate when you were 13? And what were you thinking about? And this goes on all day long. So there's just no win to it. You can't defend yourself. They allow hearsay evidence in these trials. The mother can testify for the child. They don't have to give you an exact date. Mine was on or about the spring of 1995. We had 2 guys living with us around that time also. I don't think she ever remembered that.
The lawyer representing you, was it a public pretender? Was it, because it don't matter what kind of cases. That's what they've told me anytime, whether it's a misdemeanor or whatever, it don't matter.
Yeah. No, this first lawyer I had him because, when I went to turn myself in, my dad went with me so he could pay the bail and, I could turn around and go home. And this lawyer saw him there and handed him a card and said, if you want a lawyer. So I call him. What do I know? I got a ticket for speeding in 1975. That was my last contact with the police. What do I know about lawyers and what I need? So anyway, he's as good as any. So I go to him. Long story long, I find out after I've accepted this plea bargain that he was on probation himself at that time for the second time for possession of cocaine with the intent to deliver, which in Texas just means you've got more than 2 ounces on you.
I can't confirm or deny. I don't really know Texas well. I haven't been here that long.
Yeah. Now I'm pretty certain of that, but I'm not going to swear at anything. But anyway, all this comes out in an article in the Fort Worth Star-Telegram because this guy is running for mayor in one of the little local communities called Keller. His dad had been a mayor there, and a judge, and he's a legacy. So he's running for that office. And in that, they exposed the fact that, like I say, that's where I find out he was on probation for cocaine when he's representing me. And I kind of think that might taint his view a little bit. But he was later caught in East Texas with 2 prostitutes and a large quantity of cocaine.
East Texas, baby.
A week after he had failed to appear in court to represent his client. That's the last I heard about it. But he did get elected. Yeah, he did get elected judge in Keller, though, because nobody reads the newspaper.
All right, if I can interrupt you, I think your name is Mike.
Hi, Joe.
Talked about you extensively yesterday.
Yeah, we've spoke before.
All right. Here's what I wanted to talk to these you peeps and good citizen medias. Why you cats dragging me again? I'm getting texts about how you cats are over here dragging me. Okay.
Sorry, Mike. Hold on. Mike was muted. Not dragging you. We were applauding you because you and Bird and what's his face? AC is going to be taking over Aguilar, and
I wasn't aware of that. That's good to know. I was going there to work with you and good citizen media. Those were my intentions. I don't know if AC Birdie coming or not. So I wasn't going there to play no superhero. I was going there to do what I've been doing and what I was doing with you cats. Why are you mad at me?
Not mad. Right? We thought that you were going to be taking it over with Bird.
I don't know why you would think that, because you're mad at Bird. I'm not going on whatever mission.
Because you were agreeing with him. So we figured that you were going to help him out and we were going to take a break.
You figured I agreed with him
on vacation, Joe.
I hear you.
We'll let you all handle it.
All right. No. I won't be going on any crusades with Bird. That's not what I do. So maybe you guys saw something different. I'm not gonna attack this dude, Mike, and all of that bullshit. That is not my fucking intention. I'm same shit that you guys said this will blow in its community. I'm saying the same fucking shit. I don't attack motherfuckers.
I'm not sure you want to associate with some skinny crackhead motherfucker like me or sex offender like Mike.
I will be there with you and you peeps, and we will continue this Aguilar shit. And I don't intend on fucking going into Mike's shit and figuring out. I won't be pulling your papers, Mike, and none of that shit. I don't do that shit.
I'd be interested to know if somebody can, because the case is supposed to be sealed.
Point, Joe. We've been working this story for almost a month trying to get the facts straight. And them motherfuckers going to try to throw us under the bus like they don't trust us or know what the fuck we're doing. All right. That's cool. That's cool.
I don't know how much of that it is. It's more like you peeps said. It's probably like Bird said. they've got us primed to anybody that gets near a guy with that record to get tore up. You're seeing it happen. I don't know.
Well, I don't know if any of them been paying attention, but me and you people do things different than everybody else out here. We don't
Like,
do the same old shit as everybody else. Period. We don't.
yeah,
You know, and this is another example of it, dude. The man was wrongfully fucking charged with a heinous ass crime, dude. I mean,
yeah.
this is just another example of touching the topic other people won't want.
So,
Just like having the government up on our show. I don't see none of these other panels doing that shit, bro.
Mike, you didn't.
So if they want to bite on us, that's fine. I mean, obviously we're doing something good. Otherwise, they wouldn't try to imitate. It is what it is. I mean, yeah, like Gail, haters gonna hate. That's all there is to it. But again, if you don't trust us to do what we do and know what we're doing is right, and our character is gonna come into fucking play, as to we're not good enough or whatever. Well, then it's fuck you. I mean, that's simple.
All
I
right.
mean, you know
Well,
my character,
I
bro. I'm
hope you
solid as
know
fuck.
I
You know
will
you people's
still.
character, so
Yeah.
it is
What's
what
up,
it
Joe?
is to let people
What's good,
talk on my
AC?
character.
All
You
right.
know.
I will. Yeah, I will still be out there with you and you peeps. Nothing changed as far as I'm concerned. I think you cats don't like me a whole lot now. But as far as I'm concerned, yes, I'll be out there, and
Nah, I just think it ain't. I don't like you. I just think it's funny that people don't trust what we're doing to do what we do. Ain't nobody else doing what we do, so how the fuck they gonna tell us how to do it? That's the point.
I don't know who's
Okay.
telling you how to do shit. I was out there literally doing shit with you and thought I was working with you. I'm not telling you how to do shit.
So let me ask a question real quick. Joe, yesterday when we had the guy up on panel,
Yeah.
did I not say, hey, can we get you people and Good Citizen Media over here because we got this stuff going on and I'm trying to give them an opportunity
I forgot about that. Yeah.
to have the debate go back and forth.
Yeah, you
What?
peeps, you missed an
Hold
opportunity, I
on.
thought.
No,
Go ahead.
no, I did not. I explained to you when I
Okay, so
jumped in.
can you do me a
Hold
favor?
on.
Can you both of
Hold
y'all
on.
go check your email and tell me that I did not send you an email and say, hey, this guy wants to come up on panel, something along the lines.
That's
Check your
not
emails.
that's not an issue. That's not an issue. Why would you think that's an issue?
Yeah, that dude's a fool, AC. You can have him at the shit show, bro.
I
That
understand that,
motherfucker.
but here's where I'm going with this.
That was
Okay,
kind of
you
set up. I
guys
mean, to be honest with you,
you guys
again,
say that
that's the type of
me,
stuff that
Joe,
me
and
and you
no.
people do.
You said that me and Joe and Bird and whoever else was taking over this whole thing. You guys are doing what y'all
Yeah,
need to
that's what I
do.
heard.
Y'all are
I
Well,
heard y'all
y'all
was
are
digging
going
right in.
hold
y'all
on,
are
AC.
going
That's
after
what I
the
heard
city
when I had
council.
Bird yelling at me. He's gonna pull every single piece of paperwork that we've been working on. He's gonna do it
I
all.
wouldn't do that shit. That's not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do what the fuck I've been
No,
doing.
not
Don't
you.
fucking.
I
All
said
right.
Bird. I said Bird. That's what Bird was yelling at me last night about. I'm going to pull every single piece of paperwork on everybody, including
Yep,
you. I'm
Well,
going to
I
can
do
heard
you?
it.
this. I'm going to do that. You know what?
Okay,
When he's sitting there mocking me and my work
Right.
that I've been working on for 8 months, I want
8
to see
fucking
him
months.
have that augmentation bond. I want to see him have Tyra put
And
in
ain't
that
not a
augmentation
single
bond.
one of you paid attention to none of it. So it is what it is. Uh, I mean, we don't.
I just want to see what kind of paperwork Bird gets from Tyra. I want to see what kind of information he can get over us. Yeah, and you know what? I even took all of my Aguilar videos down so he couldn't reference my shit.
Right.
So if he wants
Don't bite
fucking
off my word.
paperwork, he can go through fucking Tyra like we've been.
Hey,
Maybe
this is
he
a
can
little
go down
something.
there and get into
I
the
mean,
file cabinet that we can't.
GCM, I don't know if you heard, but Tyra said she would allow me to talk and question the entire council. I don't know how many are left.
Joe,
Everybody getting fired.
Joe, she
Yeah.
been telling me that for 6 months straight. The bitch lies a lot.
no,
That's
and
what
we
I'm
called her in a
saying. If
lie
anybody
yesterday.
would keep
Hold
up with
on.
the story, if anybody showed support to me and you people, they would know this kind of stuff.
Okay, and we
But
called
they
her in a
only
lie
want to
with
come
that
out for the
yesterday.
drama, and that's all good. I mean, it doesn't phase us. Like you ain't gonna
Okay,
phase me
so
and your
we
people.
called her
I'm
in a
just
lie
telling you that's
yesterday because she
facts.
talked about that damn folder, and then you people going, well, we sent her emails. So what's the folder about? Because we didn't come in there and actually do any records request in person. We did it over the fucking email. So I mean, that right there is a
And
fucking lie. That
her waiting till the last day to give them their request
yes, that was
is
another thing
sense.
that
Yeah.
was a red
And
flag
how
for us.
we were so rude to her and her staff. Dude, the bitch just lies over and over and over, and so does he. They're both bitches. But he all he's trying to do is stir the pot. He knows that I had already
I
planned to have
think
Mike on the
so. I
show,
think so. I
but
don't
since
plan on
he
being a
stirred the
puppet for
pot,
that dude.
for
I'm not gonna
example,
play his puppet.
that music video that I had to release, I had to get that fucking body camera and all that, get it out. You think I didn't know Mike was a sex offender before I put that motherfucking video out there? You think we didn't already fucking have a plan to do a show with Mike and let him tell his story?
Well,
And you
it's
think I
happening
don't
now.
believe this man is innocent or I wouldn't be fucking with him? So if you guys think that, then fuck off. It's that simple, dude. I mean, it ain't nothing. It's no fucking hair off my nuts. It is the
Do
way it
me a
is.
favor. I want motherfuckers stop lumping me in with niggas.
Hey, I'm just saying, bro. If it's gonna be that way, it's the way it is. I mean, if you can't stand up for me behind my back, then don't stand in front of my face like it. You know, that's
I
all
know
I'm
I
saying.
don't know. I know
And
I
now I
don't
done
know.
forgot what fucking questions I was gonna ask.
That's
Well,
Yeet,
just
by the
can I
way,
make a
right?
quick
Yeet.
comment here?
That's
Because
Yeet.
somebody apparently can put $40 in their gas tank and come see me. So you want to go ahead and do that, homie?
You wanna go ahead and do what? You said you was gonna be coming up here? What's the deal, motherfucker? You
You
know you
said
don't want
40.
none of
No, I
me.
heard what you said here up on
You
this
ain't want none
panel,
of
Yeet.
me. I
So if
said
you
you
want to
better
go
be
ahead and put that
careful.
forty
You better
dollars in
be
your gas
careful,
tank, you
motherfucker.
could see me in about one, two, three, about
I
four
can see you
hours.
stepping out my goddamn front, out my goddamn porch.
You can come see me on my porch.
I ain't got to. All I gotta do is toss a rock.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. You said one thing, but now you're gonna fly back on that, aren't you?
I said I could,
All right.
motherfucker.
Yeah, you
So
could.
either
Yeah,
way,
you could. You wish you
this
could. Is
show
what you
was
wish.
about
That's
I
right.
thought
You
you said
wish
you was
you
coming
could.
up here, big boy.
this
What
show
happened?
was about
That's right.
Nothing.
You
Just
Mike.
wish you
scared.
could.
You know I'd wrap circles around
This
you. What?
show is about Mike, and we were talking about Mike and Mike's charges and what Mike's going through.
So you think
Um,
Mike's not guilty, yeah?
so if anybody has questions for Mike while we have his time, we were able to get this show set up that everybody wanted so much.
All right, I got
Uh,
a question or Mike question for
yeah,
you
let's
though.
go.
The not guilty thing. You or Mike, I guess, could answer that shit. I don't need. My girl is texting me. I don't need. I don't need every fucking thing. But you think he's not guilty? Can you tell me why concisely?
Why I think he's not guilty?
Yeah, that's the first I heard.
Well,
I thought that.
I've been around him. I knew he was a sex offender before he even brought that to my attention. Right? I've seen him around town, small towns. I watched his behaviors for one. Firstly, all right.
And Mike
Um,
says he's not guilty as well. Yeah.
and then once I was able to sit down with him, he told me he wanted to tell the story, and I heard his story. Uh, there's plenty of logical sense there. What
All
I'm
right.
able to find as far as records go match up to exactly what he's told me word for word.
Yeah.
He hasn't stumbled not once in this past month with it. Um,
Yeah.
and again, people get falsely convicted. And here he thought he was just getting basically probation
Yeah.
if he did do it this
I
way.
didn't know where the
And
falsely
now the
thing.
point is Adam is the one who's brought this to focus. The old fake and
Agree.
bacon, real talk, whatever his name is this week. He's the one
Yes,
who's brought this to focus just to try to take us off from Aguilar.
I would agree.
That's
There's
what it
millions of
is.
dollars.
It's deflection.
I saw some of the figures up there. There's millions of
And
dollars at play. If you can get these two niggas that's harassing us out of our face, it's a beautiful fucking plan. I would agree
yeah,
with that.
and that's how Mike ended up reaching out to me is because he was attacked on Facebook, and so he felt he had to address it, and like a man, he wanted to address it head on. So he came to me and said, "Hey, I got this story." He's like, "I'll go out cop watching with you." He's like, "This
Uh,
government's fucked up." I told him, I said, "Bro, I have to hear what you got going on before I can associate with you." Did I not, Mike?
Yep.
I told him, like, I
Yep.
need to know the whole story, bro. And I sat down with him for probably 2 fucking hours, and we went through the whole fucking story, back and forth from front and sideways. And I can look in his eye while he's telling me the story, and I'm telling you, I believe the man. So,
I'd be more
Um,
concerned with that shit that yesterday I was thinking shit's coming back to me now. If that guy did have to attack you, if that's his job, the code enforcement, to get y'all off of Aguilar, then
it
he would
was.
need a plan. That plan would involve throwing a sex offender near you, which means him and Mike. And Mike, I'm sorry, I don't know you and all of this shit. Please don't get mad at me. Means Mike would have had to be a part of it for him to put next to you. I don't know that
Which
Mike's not a fucking plant yet.
Hold
No,
on.
and that's
Hold
what
which
I'm
on.
by the
trying to
way,
tell you guys. It
hold
wasn't
on, guys.
nothing like that. I
Hold
knew
on,
for the
guys.
past 7 months that Mike is a sex offender. I've known this since
What
I got here.
That's got nothing to
which
do with
by the
him
way,
being
hold
in a
on.
plant, in my
Which
opinion.
by the way, was a part of the discussion that we had yesterday, Joe, correct?
Yeah, yes, we did.
Now I didn't know him for the whole time I've been here. I just knew he was a sex offender, so I kept my
I'm talking
eye
about
on him
plant
around
shit.
town.
I'm talking about him being a plant right now. I get that you know you're a sex offender,
So you
and
think
he's
he
saying not
moved here
guilty.
2 years before I did, so that way he could be a plant for something that he foreseen in the future?
No, I wouldn't assume they moved there 2 years ago for something that happened in the future. I would
Yeah,
assume
he's
once you
lived here
get
for over 2 years. I just
and
got here 8 months ago.
and have you known him for 2 years?
No,
He
I didn't.
contacted
I
you
haven't known
recently.
him but for a month now, Joe. That's what I keep
I
saying. I
I
only known him
get
for the
it.
past month. I knew of him
Yeah,
because he's a registered sex offender. I obviously keep tabs on that shit.
I understand those
There's
things.
four of
Uh,
them total in this town, and out of the four, Mike is the one who's being targeted.
okay, that's your opinion. I'm still trying to form my own. If it's okay with you, Mike, you've been there for a couple years. He reached out to you after the Aguilar shit started. He is still not in the clear as far as I'm concerned.
For what? Like being a government plant or his charges?
Yes, the plant shit.
The plant shit. Joe, you see,
Joe,
bro.
Joe, I'm flattered.
I'm flattered.
I am truly flattered. Somebody owes me a check.
It's
Tell you
logical.
what. I tell you what, would a government
Yeah.
plant
Cash
be
me
living in a
outside.
shed?
It's
I'm just kidding. He's not living in a shed. That house in the video is his. He doesn't
just
live in a
started
Yeah, that's
getting
his
money.
house.
He just started getting money a month ago. He ain't spending it
But
yet.
anybody else got
I
questions for Mike, man? Well, we got Mike up here. Has anybody else got questions? Anybody want to
do
grill
not.
him
I
and
do
get to the
not. I'm
bottom of
not gonna
this?
chase you, Mike, or no shit.
AC,
I'm
how
not
about you,
even
bro? We
fucking
got him up here.
curious about this. And I will still be up there for the Aguilar shit later.
Nope,
So
be glad to have you over.
So real quick, so good citizen and you people, like I said yesterday, I got a phone call from what was his name? Adam? Is that what his name is?
Yeah, yeah,
All right. So I got a phone call from Adam out of the blue asking me
yeah,
if there was a way he could come up on panel. The way that he
yeah,
approached it was of the panel that was done, there was a bunch of yelling and screaming that was going on, and he kept getting dropped down into the
yeah.
basement. He couldn't say what he wanted to say. So
There was
he
a
wanted to
reason
be
for
able to
that.
come up on a panel and say his piece. Now, my channel has always been a free speech panel. I come out of the 1A community. I believe in the free speech. I do it to the best of my ability. Sometimes it's not possible to do that. Sometimes people, I'm going to kill you, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's not going to fly. Okay. I can't allow shit like that on my panel. Now, it's like I said, to the best of my ability, I said, I always try to give people their free speech. They wanted to come up on panel. I warned them ahead of time. The shit show is the shit show. When people come
Right.
up on panel, it can pop off at any moment, and there could be a fight. So you need to understand what you're about to get into.
No, I understand that, AC, but
I
for
know
me,
that, but you
hold
have to
on.
understand. Can you
Hold
give me a
on.
second, you people?
Well, I wasn't finished.
Okay, go ahead.
I understand your show, and I understand the concept. But in my opinion, your show was kind of mild until I jumped up, and then, I just got pummeled upon. Granted, I didn't have all of the information, or I couldn't remember the information. God forbid, I'm not a computer. But, I did my best to try and answer questions, but I got shot down real quick and then kicked off panel.
I didn't kick you off panel. No.
No. Game over 2 did.
No, he did not.
I didn't leave. So somebody had to have kicked me off the panel.
Okay. Well, I didn't see that because my understanding was you left the panel. Now, I didn't hear anybody say that they kicked you off. And if that was the case, then I will get with game over to you on that.
I didn't come back and I didn't yell at you. And, you know, we
Game
told
over
Mike
said
this
he
would
kicked
happen.
If game over 2 kicked you, then okay, then there you go.
No.
So
yeah, because he didn't just leave.
I ain't gonna lie, when he got kicked, because it did sound like Game Over's response was like he kicked him. I was like, damn, because, you know, I've known you people for a while, and I wanted him to be able to get his.
Look,
What's up, Bird?
and I think what gets everybody up in arms is we've had enough sex offenders up in the fucking 1A community. You go from Rock City audits to Permian fucking Basin, News Now Permian Basin to News Now Houston, and all the other motherfuckers that try to infiltrate. You know, we got this.
Can't forget
you got
Dash
this
with his arrogant ass.
Yes, exactly my fucking point. You've got Dash. So when and I just now noticed that Bird's here, but I can simply understand because like all the shit that I've been given about News Now Houston, Bird has been given the same fucking shit for fucking Beware Mouse. So I mean,
but
to say that we're not up in arms.
Hold on, have I given you guys that shit? Have I ever thrown shade your guys' way in any way?
Ever.
Other than like saying that you guys are taking over Aguilar, because that was my understanding. But if you're not going to take over Aguilar,
no, you guys look. I am not out there doing 1 Amendment stuff. I'm not doing First Amendment shit. You guys do what you do.
Hey, we're trying to get out of the First Amendment range, and we're trying to stick with the town and follow through with it and see how it evolves.
I'll put
you know what I'm
like
saying?
This, when Asmar fucked with you, that was the final straw between me and Asmar. Honestly, bro. So I know that you have always supported us, bro. But the thing is, like I told you the other day, with this man's record and stuff, regardless, when you're looking at the overall people looking at it, brother, it does not look good.
Can I ask for something here?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to have a discussion with you and Good Citizen Media, but before I do, I'm going to ask you guys to do something.
Mike,
I would like you. Yes, Exile, I'm aware. What I'm going to ask is for all of you to drop down and leave just me and Mike up here for just a little while.
Go ahead.
You can put me in the basement.
Just me and Mike, nobody else. You have to bring Mike back up. All right. How you doing, Mike?
Am I up?
So let's talk about it a little bit. You've been charged and convicted, to my understanding, of fondling an 8-year-old. Is that correct or incorrect?
No, it was fondling a 2.5-year-old, my daughter.
So, how did a 2.5-year-old give a video testimony?
Well, she never did because it didn't go to trial.
Okay, so I would say that would it be fair to say that a 2.5-year-old could not testify even on video?
Well, okay, she was 2.5 years old when the alleged incident happened. Okay. She's 5.5 years old when she's having her alleged outcry.
Okay. Now, with her alleged outcry, what were the claims against you?
Well, the story is, as I understand it, because I wasn't, all this information wasn't shared with me. I had to try to dig it out.
Surely,
yeah.
The allegations and the cry and the outcry and the story are clearly written down somewhere in the court documentation.
Well, I'm sure they are too. But like I said, I wasn't given the stuff. And you have to go back. I don't know how long you've been listening, but you have to hear about my first lawyer and who he was.
I give a fuck. Mike, we don't give a fuck about the lawyer. Let's stay on topic and let's stick directly to simple answers to simple questions.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to answer for you. But
okay, so
nothing is black and white.
What was the allegations of the outcry?
the allegation, well, what's the outcry was, I'm on a business trip and she says, I'm glad Daddy's not here. He makes me feel bad. Not sure what that meant, but I'm the one who did all her disciplining and everything. So I just take that as, he's not here because I'm getting to do stuff I couldn't do otherwise, because she had made the statement once after visiting her grandmother, how much she liked going there because she got to do anything she wanted to.
Okay.
And it wasn't really my ex-wife so much that took this. It was her sister and her mother.
Okay. So listen, Mike, I'm not trying to fucking be a dick here. Okay. But again, I'm going to insinuate that shit looks awkward when we can't get simple answers to simple questions. In her outcry, what were the allegations waged upon you, sir?
Right. This is the story. That at sometime on or about the spring of 1995, that I got up sometime in the middle of the night out of a waterbed and went to my daughter's bedroom 20 feet away and put my finger in her vagina and then left and went back to bed. My daughter made no cry out because I'm doing this. There's no noise or any kind. The ex-wife, she did not get awoken by me getting in and out of a waterbed, nor did she ever hear any outcry from my daughter at the time. This was all supposed to happen in the quiet. And that was it. Just that one time.
So the allegations, back to simple answers to simple questions, is that your daughter had claimed in her outcry that you shoved your finger in her vagina.
No, she did not. She's never said that.
So then how could that allegation come about, and how would that involve her outcry? Did you see we're not getting down to simple answers?
Well, no, you see, it's a complicated story, and you apparently haven't listened to all this. This began because she. No, let me finish. No, and I'm telling you, truth. Just let me finish. We're talking about 3,650 days of my life. This is much more complicated than just answering a few simple questions for you. Now you make me forget where I was going.
Simply, she did not make the allegation. So who made the allegation that you shoved a finger in your daughter?
Texas CPS.
So CPS makes the claim that you shoved your finger in your daughter's vagina.
Right. Exactly.
And where did CPS get that information?
In an interview with her.
With an interview with the daughter. Oh, no. Let's be clear about this. Okay. So now what I'm hearing, Mike, is that in your daughter's outcry, by divulging information to a third party, made claim that you stuck your finger in her vagina. Correct or incorrect?
No.
Okay, so
what happened? Let me tell you. The interview.
No, I ain't the one to lie to, dude. All right, go ahead.
What's this?
I'm listening. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. In the interview with CPS, what they did is they go and they talk, they introduce, get comfortable, they bring out the little dolls with enlarged genitalia, right? Are you familiar with any of this?
I am actually.
Okay. And so in that conversation, this social worker who's doing the interview says, has anybody ever touched you down there? Daughter says, yes. The woman at daycare has. Okay, changing her diaper. Anybody else? Yeah, the boy next door has. Yeah, we caught them playing doctor a lot. Anybody else? Yeah, little boys at school do. Yeah. Has your daddy ever touched you there? No answer. Has your daddy ever touched you there? No answer. Has your daddy ever touched you there? Leah nods her head yes.
Okay. Now, was this in court documentation that you read this?
No, this was, in one of my probation visits, because in order to accept the plea deal, I had to plead guilty. But starting with my very first visit there, I said, no, I am not guilty. I did not do this. And that was my position through the whole 10 years of probation. This pissed them off tremendously. And so this is one of my visits there that would last hours. And they're pulling out documents and stuff. And I, well, let me see that. Because I never saw the report from CPS. And that little snippet in there that I'm telling you, that's what I can remember seeing out of it. That's my only exposure to it.
That's what. Okay, so you just told me no that you didn't see any official documentation, but now you're saying that was the documentation or a snippet of the documentation that you've seen when you went into probation.
No, you said in court. It was because it didn't go to court. This was when I was in probation.
Okay.
So that's what I was clarifying.
And so you were on probation already after agreeing that you were guilty of these said crimes.
Right.
Now, let's get down to a couple of pinpoint factors. Is that there's no fucking way, Mike, that documentation, and this is just me, that's written by the CPS worker is going to say that she continued to patronize your daughter, asking her repetitively whether or not daddy had touched her vagina. It's not going to say that. It's going to say something to the effect of, I asked the daughter, she was unresponsive, and so I asked again, and in turn, she responded that, yes, daddy had touched me inappropriately. Did you get what I'm saying?
As I remember this document, everything was in quotes. This was quoting her conversation and quotes of my daughter's response.
Mike, what county did this happen at in Texas?
Well, Tarrant County.
Tarrant County. Okay.
Yeah.
So in Tarrant County, Texas, in what city was that?
Fort Worth. Actually, yeah.
Fort Worth.
I lived in Bedford, but it's Fort Worth area. I grew up in Fort Worth, though.
All right. But as far as like when you go to see your probation officer, you're going to Fort Worth for that.
Right. Tarrant County.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're on the same playing field because I'm definitely going to be digging into this these records of yours. Now, you said that you had these records sealed?
No. This is deferred adjudication in Texas.
Okay. So it's deferred adjudication, but it doesn't mean that the records are sealed. That's good. That's good.
No. You're jumping a lot there. Deferred adjudication in Texas is you agreed to their term, which in this case was 10 years of probation. If at the end of that 10 years of probation, you have not committed any other crimes or had any reason for them to fault you in some way during this 10 years of probation,
Mike,
then let me finish. Let me finish.
Hey, don't talk to me like that, bro. I'd smack the fuck out you.
But go ahead. I'm sure you will. Punk. But anyway, then there is at the end of that time, the case is dismissed. There is no finding of guilt, and the records are supposed to be sealed. What makes me different from a murderer or an arsonist is I have to register as a sex offender. You don't have to register as an arsonist or a murderer. That's what puts me out here in the public any different than anybody else.
Yeah, it's deferred, so it's not necessarily sealed, but
yeah, this whole thing of, you can just answer these simple questions. Fuck no. This was 3,460 days. They did all kinds of shit with me. Like you say, 40 years ago. Yeah. Jeez.
Bird, I'm just saying, man, you come up here talking all tough, dude. I don't know why you think you gotta be so tough. I mean,
well, it's like I told you, and like I said, I will not be bullied. I won't be bullied by him or anybody else.
Bird wants to try to be a bully, but it's funny. And so, of course, it's you don't like the questions. No, it's the commentary that comes with it, I suppose. So, yeah. I mean,
the bottom line is to me, you didn't live my life, you and general people. You didn't live my ex-wife's life. we're the ones who know what happened here. The rest of y'all are all speculating.
Listen, Mike, I'm just trying to get down to the truth. And this is what I just heard from you is that no, my daughter wasn't the one that complained about me. Actually, she told CPS about an incident. No, I didn't see any documentation. I didn't read any documentation. But when I was in probation, I got a snippet of some paperwork that was sitting on the probie's desk. I mean,
no, they handed it to me.
Did you hear how some of the shit sounds suspect to me?
No.
Really?
Not at all.
I should just take it with a grain of salt and be like, yeah, Mike sounds like he's telling the truth after he contradicts himself.
No, you see, what you're not getting here, records are sealed. I have no proof to go back to. There is nothing. I went and searched myself here the other day in Texas. Nothing comes up anymore.
Mike, did you plead guilty to sexually assaulting your own daughter?
Yes, I did.
Then you're guilty.
No.
Yes.
That's what my attorney called it. My attorney called it a jack plea.
Yo, I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, think about this. If I were charged with murder and I was innocent and there was evidence that suggested that I may be guilty, I would still fight it tooth and nail based on one principle. One, I'm innocent. Two,
no, you wouldn't.
Oh, yes, I would.
No, you wouldn't. You don't. You apparently did not hear what I had. You apparently did not hear what I have to say about how a trial goes in Texas.
You were scared? You were scared of the consequences of being found guilty for a crime you didn't commit?
Okay. Tell me, Eric, you explain to me how this trial is going to go. How are you going to defend yourself? You tell me how you're going to do it. You know so fucking much about this. You tell me how you're going to go to trial and defend yourself on this. I'd love to hear it. My lawyers didn't know.
Well, I mean...
here's the deal. Now let me finish. Here's the deal. What is your name? I don't know. I can't see your little symbol here.
Son, you're so ridiculous. You're fucking ridiculous.
Listen to me.
You're a fucking liar, dude. Like, this is horrible. This is horrible.
Earlier when he was talking to me, he said he had no court paperwork, no court knowledge. He wasn't there for it. You would not have this type of charge.
We did not go to trial.
But you would still have an arraignment, a hearing, and discovery, things of these natures.
What I had to several times go down, I forget what they call it, a docket call, where I have to go and my lawyer has to say here and I say here and they say not ready yet and they go, okay. And I was doing that one day when afterwards he came to me out in the hallway and approached me with his plea offer. And I had to make a decision right there. I didn't get to talk to anybody. And I think y'all missed this part where I talked about it. This guy was on probation for dealing cocaine at the time. So, hey, Mike, his view may have been a little slanted on what he's going to advise me at.
Just so I don't get these records confused that I'm asking for someone to submit for me currently. Can you just verify your date of birth and fucking middle name?
8/13/1954.
No.
No, I mean, dude, it's not like it's going to be hard to find. We already have the other records.
No, it's not that. I just didn't. You know me and doxing and stuff like that.
Dude, I'm thinking that he's pretty well doxed as a sex offender at this point.
I know. I'm just, it's reflex, man.
Okay.
We're on panel. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I get it. I think at this point, dude, it's a moot point that you're making, though. So, Mike, out of the name of transparency,
it's not secret information.
Yeah, but go ahead.
No,
so you said your birthday was when again? I'm sorry.
August 13th, 1954.
Okay, and your middle name?
And why do you think you need that?
Just because sometimes, like myself, there's other people that I know that have the same exact birth date as I do, probably that aren't going to match up to those sex crimes. But I just want to make sure that there is no error and that there is no fucking bullshit in the process, right?
Okay. Well, my middle name is Thomas with an H.
Fair enough. So I'm going to pull the records that I can pull on this case.
Okay.
I'm going to assess this case, and
I would love to see what you find.
I'm sure that we will find something. What I will say at this point, from my perspective, and I mean, I'm just being straight up with you. You sound like a fucking liar. You look like a liar. You fucking ultimately, dude, sound like at some point you didn't see a way to fight the allegations made by your own daughter that you had shoved your finger in her vagina. And I don't care who the fuck you are, dude. I don't care if I'm going to fucking crucify at a fucking cross like fucking Jesus did after getting fucking nailed to it. I would never take a guilty plea on a fucking sexual assault or a fucking molestation of a child that I had never touched.
We are here to make sure that our brothers here that have been here on this platform with us are covered on this shit, and you don't give them a fucked up look.
Now, here's my other issue. Is
Well,
you
let me-
people told me
let
that
me
he
go
wasn't
back.
aware of this. Tonight
I would
it sounds
like-
everybody's been quite aware of all of this in its entirety, right? But just last night, I got a bullshit story. So when I started hearing bullshit over bullshit, and people are just kind of like, maybe it's because they're embarrassed.
Hold on. I didn't give a bullshit story. I told you I didn't have a lot of knowledge on this story.
But I just
That's
heard you guys
exactly
talk
what I
tonight that
told
you
you.
already. I just heard both of you and Good Citizen tonight say that you both knew about this and that you knew that you guys were going to have to come out with this long before we had that conversation last night.
And you're taking that out of context. I said we knew about this he knew longer than I did. I've known for the past month about this. We've been working on this.
So,
like I said, we come to the conclusion that we think that he's innocent. But if you come up with something else and you prove us wrong, like I said, I'll take accountability.
Yo, this is where I'm at with it. So what you're saying to me, and I just want to make sure we're clear on this, is that you guys were going to come out with a story because you believed he was innocent of molesting his own daughter, correct?
Correct.
But last night you told me you weren't even sure what the charges were. Now you guys see why I think you're full of shit, and now you see why I'm fucking digging into shit. Everybody have a fucking great day, and I guess
I have
strap
to
in,
be
bitches.
completely honest with you on your panel. Why can't I fuck with you on your panel? Why do I have to give you all of my fucking information right off the bat, Bird?
Because Bird runs shit around here on these YouTube screens.
Gregory, I took multiple lie detector tests and passed them all, along with a day-long interview by a psychologist of the judge's choosing.
And on another note,
well, we all know that lie detector tests are not admissible in court because they can be faked.
They're anxiety
tests. That's not a good argument there.
Yeah, well, no, it's just a lie detector test.
It's not a good argument.
Okay, a lie detector test is an anxiety test. What they're anticipating is if you're going to lie.
People that have trained themselves to lie and pass a lie detector test. There are people that have done that, which is one of the reasons why it is not admissible in court.
And a good detector will know this, but because it's not a lie, it doesn't detect lies, it detects anxiety. It registers the anxiety that you're going to show and feel relieved of if you're telling a lie.
And I'm glad that you're well versed in this.
Okay, and I've passed many of those. So, I mean, do you think every one of them? You know, I'm really, God, I'm getting so flattered here because I'm a secret agent. I can pass lie detector test. Damn.
Hey, I'm not saying that you can pass lie detector tests. I'm saying they're not admissible because. Go ahead.
Well, right,
but he can expunge a record at a time that he was convicted when they didn't have expungements, which tells me some kind of court plea deal happened. That's what concerns me.
I'm not sure I understood your question, but the expungement is a part of deferred adjudication.
I'm an ex-criminal. I know how the courts work.
Yeah, well,
been rang through them systems.
But I tell you what, Good Citizen, man, I had no intention to come over to your channel to disrespect you or your channel. That was never my intention. When I came over, I heard about the shit that was going on in that town, and I wanted to say, you know, y'all were doing an awesome job. Continue doing what y'all are doing. I come out of the 1A community just because I'm not participating in cop watching and doing 1A audits anymore. Doesn't mean that I don't see that there are good people out there doing
took a
hard
lot
work.
of slack. I took a lot of slack that day for letting you up on the panel because I'm the one.
I understand that.
And
I understand that.
Honestly, it was something that we had already had pre-working. You know, it was kind of perfect timing that you showed up in the basement that day because we were looking exactly for somebody to pawn Adam off on, and you guys were just perfect for it, dude. So I'm glad you ate his little story up, but like I say, now do some investigation there, Bird.
Well, I'm
You
gonna let
know,
Bird do what he does. Like I said, I mean,
well,
there's a lot
Bird's
of
gonna
people
let
that are
other
up in
people do
arms.
what Bird
Uh,
does.
uh,
Bird can't even fill out his own FOIA request, so he's gonna have somebody
so
else
I,
do it for him.
so once again, like as far as the work in the town, do what y'all are doing. Like I
Bird don't
mean,
know this skinny crack-headed motherfucker, obviously, so it's funny. Comes up here on my panel and wants to be all tough. Hey, Bird, last time I seen you, you was getting a fucking glass of water to the face. Just saying. So, no, you're all good, AC, man. Like I say, it is what it is. And like I say, this had been in the works for longer than people know. We uh we don't just go by the seat of our pants. We actually do the research. So, like I say, we dug into him as far as we are able to get for records, and I'm not finding nothing. Uh, it was quite the opposite for Adam. We were able to find all kinds of shit on him. So, and obviously we were able to get him fired as well. So, I mean, I don't know. That's my fifth code enforcement that I've got fired, and I've gotten about 12 badges. So, I mean, if somebody else is doing better numbers than me, let me know. Just saying. I'm down here by my motherfucking self, and you people's all the way in Arizona assisting me. I do this shit here in Colorado on my motherfucking own, Bird. So, it is what it is, you know. I don't run with a crew. You guys think we got some kind of gang? No, it's me and you people, and we got each other's back. So it is what it is. I mean, he came up there and tried to give the story. You guys just continue to run over him. So uh, we haven't showed you that same courtesy here. I mean, but it is what it is. We've been nothing but respectful to everybody out here. So when people start disrespecting us, we're gonna take it personal. You know.
well,
Uh, I
the
hope
next
I.
time, the Adam or anybody else wants to come up on my panel, I don't have a way to contact you other than
No, I
email.
got your email. I got your email,
Um,
man. You can contact me through email.
so if not,
I
I
didn't come
think I
up because
gave you.
I didn't have service. This town's fucked up on service. It doesn't have shit for
Yeah.
internet service. You gotta
Well,
hit special spots to have service. So
yeah, no,
that's why I didn't come up.
I can understand that. But like I said, I mean, if at anything, I think I left my cell phone number there. You people's had contact
Yeah.
with me many times. Um, so like I said, next time something like that
No,
happens,
ain't no
I'm not
problem. There
trying
wasn't
to
no
hear.
problem with having him on your show, AC. You're missing the whole point. You fell for his trap. You let him troll you, and in turn affected us and what we were trying to produce. I mean, don't you think we would have rather
Mm,
had the fucking story together, more fucking facts before we presented it? And obviously, it's not the top of our fucking story. We're in the middle of getting code enforcement fired. We got other shit that's really pertaining to government happening. You see, uh,
okay, but my
so
channel's not what
to
your
kind
channel
of your
is.
channel to kind of come out and try to force my channel to do this show is kind of shitty. Is my only point. That's all. I can't speak for
No,
you
I was
people. I'm
trying to
just
give you
speaking
an
for myself.
opportunity. If you don't want the opportunity, hey, you don't have to come on.
No, it
Like I
ain't like
said,
I
I
say. It
only
wasn't
was
about coming
trying to.
on, bro. I'm saying you fell for his trap. His trap was to lure you right into this Mike guy,
But I'm not involved in
and
this.
you knew that.
I'm not going after I'm not going after corrupt criminals or corrupt city council members. I'm not going after city hall, the mayor.
No, like I
Um,
say, he's the
I'm
fifth
not.
code
It's a
enforcement that
different
I've got
channel.
fired. I've got 12 cops fired in my past fucking 3 years, dude. This is what the fuck we do. Uh,
Okay.
we make
Then why
actual
have him
change,
on the
bro. Like I
show?
don't knock what you do over there, but for somebody to come try to tell me how to drive my fucking ship, they got me fucked up. That's all there is to it. And, I mean, you guys can do whatever you want, say whatever you want. That's on you. Like you guys, you do what you do over there. But it, like I say, it kind of put me on the spot to where I don't have all the motherfucking proper information that I'd like to have to do this show. But it is what it is. We're still gonna proceed forward. Um, and if Bird wants to take over with Aguilar, he's more than fucking welcome. I mean, he is a Colorado. He should give a fuck. So, just saying. I ain't never seen fucking Bird show up to any of my motherfucking shows, but now all of a sudden that Adam lured you into the trap, he's all on my shit. Like I say, last time I seen Bird, he was taking a glass of water to a face. So
Well,
Well, no,
I'll
that
agree to
was
disagree. I'll
actually I
agree to
think that was
disagree
a
with some of that.
hurricane and a lawn chair to the face.
yeah, he just stood there, dude. He's gonna talk shit about how he'll slap the shit out of Mike, but when the motherfucker hit him with a glass of water, he sure just stood there. Hmm. See, that's how I miss Eric Brandt, man. He kept shit in check. Everybody plays too much nowadays. But like I say again, it wasn't about having Adam on your show, bro. I could give a fuck less about that. And I did get your email. I appreciate that from you. But sometimes you gotta have trust in we know what we're doing, man. We've shown results for quite some time now. And I mean, ultimately, I was glad Adam went on to your show. But the fact that it shows me that we don't have the respect that we should have out there just also let me know a little more on top of it. So it worked out, you know. Uh, I mean, it'll come down to even Joe talking shit on us. So, I mean, Joe knows me personally. He knows I don't hang around with sex offenders. So I would at least like to think he knows that. But,
Well,
like, it's just, everybody's got their own little place. You know, like say, we're
Right.
doing the best we can over here, man. Sorry, it's taken us 8 months to get this far, but if you knew how fucked up this town really was and what the fuck they're really doing, then maybe you'd understand. But instead, it's easier to try to drag us through the mud and talk shit on us. So, you know, some people take the easy route, some take the hard route. You won't find me catching the easy route too often. So, you know, but like I say, I got your number. You got my email. You know, it is what it is. It just came out fucked up. That's all there is to it. So, because like I say, Mike came to me wanting to tell his fucking story, and I was trying to make sure the fucking pieces of the puzzle are right because it's something that just doesn't happen out here often. So now you guys dragging us through the fucking mud. Oh, we support fucking sex offenders and shit. Like I say, now here we are, and we've
well,
only got half of what we wanted to put out. So shit takes time. You know. Yeah, I mean, and that's it. Mike's here for a reason, man. Like anybody wants to ask him questions, he's not
You
fucking
people,
hiding.
are you
no, I
there?
mean he already answered the question. I mean he signed a confession or he signed
He did.
paperwork to say that he did it. He signed it. Like at the end of the day, like the dude's convicted. What
Yeah.
regardless of it was under regardless of what's the word I'm looking
And at
for?
the end of the day, it's adjudicated. That's the point as
Well,
well, right? So that was part of how he played it out, is he'd take the adjudication. He knew he wouldn't
I
get in
let me
trouble
point
in
out
10 years.
well,
my
the
lawyer.
adjudication only applies to Texas. It doesn't apply to Colorado, which is the
Adjudication
reason why
still
he has
shows
to.
a guilt.
That's the reason why he has to register as a sex offender in Colorado. So,
Right. Not like
But
$7,500, that would all go away. It's all about money.
I
well,
You could
mean,
take that shit right off.
personally, I
But
hope my approach to this at any point didn't make you or you peoples feel like I was attacking you guys. This Mike dude, though, I mean, me myself, I have a
no,
different
but you
opinion
did.
than you
yeah.
Hey,
do.
you questioned our credibility, bro. Multiple times on that show. If you people
No,
don't
I
find us
what
credible,
I
then get the
did is
fuck on
what
down the
I
road.
did
It's that simple, dude.
what I
Don't
did
fuck with
is
us.
I stated that your credibility would be questioned, and that's a
Nah,
matter of fact statement.
Yep.
and that's why we was trying to do it proper. But it is what it is, man.
Kind of
Again,
sucks when you get rushed into a show that you're not ready
yeah,
for and you
dude.
don't have proper information.
Right. It makes for half-ass, especially when this is something new to us. We've never done anything like this, you know.
More reason that you should have reached out to us that you do know that handle this type of stuff on a regular basis.
So
Can agree with you on that one. Maybe we should have went out and reached out, but we didn't. We also know the stigma. I mean, look what
yeah,
happened.
And we're
And that's
both in the process of fucking moving, trying to fucking work full time and do this shit,
And
dude.
you people, isn't that the whole
So
statement I was making last night? I never made a statement that I think you support a child, whatever. I said, I think you got put in a situation. I really think, this dude is working with the government on some level or not. How else is it that? How else is it a government official bringing this dude's name up, and other government officials are bringing this specific individual's name up?
because there's a lot more to the story that nobody wants to fucking hear. That's the point. We've been doing this for months. You guys ain't been paying attention. You jump in at one little point in the story and try to pick it.
So the
when a
history,
motherfucker ends up asking questions.
the history of Mike here is, and code enforcement in Tyra is, ever since the mercantile store and the Ace Hardware started doing renovations and stuff, trash from their stuff would blow into his yard, and he was complaining to them multiple times that trash was blowing into his yard.
They offered to buy his land.
Yeah. And they drove in my yard, and they parked in my yard, and they ran skid steers through my yard. And sometimes if they, instead of going around the alley, they just drove trucks and trailers through my yard and around my vehicles.
They built their store like right around his shit, man.
Yeah, and the owner of all this promised me that he was going to make good on all this, and he would fix all this up, and they were going to put in the drainage so it wouldn't flood my yard and stuff. And they haven't moved one grain of dirt.
But
they have been letting garbage spread all over the neighborhood, and I've been pointing that out to everybody.
You don't remember talking to me back in the day when I had the white and black icon? I told you back then you had a lawsuit against them, but that was before I knew about your criminal record as well.
Yeah, well, it adds a layer of complication to everything.
Right. That's the thing. There's a lot of layers to this shit, dude. That's why we was trying to present it properly. But instead, this is what we get. Like I say, anybody's got questions for Mike, now's the time to do it. We're getting the shit out of the way right now because this is kind of what we was fucking forced into doing this way. So, instead of, all we could do is bring Mike. So, anybody who has questions for Mike, even if it's in the chat, let us know. We got the Token Vet just came up. Token Vet, good to see you, brother. Appreciate you coming on the show.
Yo.
So Wolverine says that the adjudication is oxymoron and still don't take away from the conviction and the crime.
Yeah, exactly. That was my point that I was making.
Yep.
Well, let me explain to you why Texas does this. If you're on deferred adjudication,
you know what? I got to jump off here. I don't even want to hear it. I'm good. I don't need to hear this shit. Thanks, man.
You got plenty of people from Texas around here.
No,
he's from Texas.
I'm from Texas. Yes.
From Texas. The person that made the comment, Wolverine, he's from Texas. No, he's from Michigan. My bad. So yeah, but a lot of people know about Texas law. Texas law is commonly used in America.
Yeah.
Texas, California, areas such as that.
Well, the point I was going to make is in Texas, if you're on probation for a sex offense, they want you on probation because they have more control over you on probation than if you're in prison.
I don't know. I would have to agree with Bird, though. I've been doing a lot of listening, and a lot of your story doesn't make sense. A lot of things that you said, if I was a lawyer personally, I would have told you take it to trial.
No, because apparently you did not hear my explanation about how these trials work in Texas.
No physical evidence, a 2.5-year-old at 5.5 years old, not credible memory. There's reasons to take it.
No, you didn't hear it. They can videotape her. All they got to do is present her videotape testimony and rest their case. What am I going to do? I can't cross-examine a videotape. I can't put her up on the stand because they videotaped it. Your only option at that point is to put yourself on the stand. And you'd be really stupid to do that.
You can cross-examine the evidence, but you can cross-examine the evidence itself.
You would have fought it in appeals.
No, I had 3 lawyers tell me no. If you want to argue with lawyers, go right ahead. This is
I
what they
should have
told me.
did, and I
Right,
won every
'cause
time
it's
I
not
did
like he
because
knew
they
much
told me they
about
told my
law.
mom to take the
And,
deal.
So what he's
and my
saying
lawyer,
is he listened to his lawyers.
Yeah.
Right.
my
That's
third
where they'll
lawyer,
get you.
my third
Versus
lawyer was an appeals specialist and a partner in a firm. Later became a magistrate judge. He was a big deal in town. And he's had a big role in straightening this out because the probation people and the district attorneys did not want to listen to anything. And he went and talked to the judge himself, and that's why they sent me to this psychologist and all the stuff that I've explained before
So
that apparently y'all were not here to hear.
Jane asked the question here: was the little girl taken to the doctors and checked out?
Hold on, babe.
Well, it started because we took her to the doctor for a yeast infection. But I don't know. I don't know if there was an examination later because it's 2.5 years later that she's being examined by CPS and other people. So I don't think a physical examination would have been relevant at that point. But it should be noted, because somebody was harping on the fact earlier about me sticking my finger in her vagina. Her hymen was intact. So that's what the doctor found.
More reason to go ahead and take it to trial. This is evidence that you could have asked to present.
No, you're not hearing me. The lawyers were telling me you would be stupid to go to trial. It will only result in you going to prison.
And
your best deal here is to negotiate a probation.
You were stupid to listen to some lawyers that you obviously didn't pay.
No, I paid every one of them. Look, between lawyers, fees, and lost income, this has cost me about $1 million. So yeah, I've paid a bit. No, I tell you, my third lawyer was an appeals specialist. He took this on because he believed my case. I couldn't afford him. He was a couple $100 an hour. But he charged me very little to take this case on. And he's the one who got it all straightened out, got me off of the sex offender treatment requirements, ultimately got me, I had mail-in reporting for the last 2.5 years I was on probation.
And what year did you get off probation?
2002.
Okay. So around 2002, they was having people submit DNA. Was this a felony case?
Well, as a registered sex offender, you're required to give a DNA sample.
So that's what
yeah, they only took that from me here a couple of years ago. Apparently, they forgot.
That's strange.
Yeah. Well,
but they have done.
Y'all assume that cops are competent. Everything just goes on. You have no idea. Now, the guy, for 23 years, I reported to a detective in Bedford, very professional policeman, always in a suit, and he treated me very well. But I had with other places I went, for a while I was reporting to the sheriff's office in Waco, Texas. These got knuckleheads. We want a copy of this. I'd bring it to them. The next time I come in, we told you we wanted a copy and you didn't bring it. Yes, I did. You remember? Oh yeah, we must have lost it. Every time I went in there, they're accusing me of not having done something I was supposed to do, and then realizing, oh yeah, you did do it. Our mistake. It's just that doesn't. When you're in my position, that kind of shit scares me. I mean, these people, they're not watching shit. They're not taking care of business, and it's my fucking life that could go to prison because they say I didn't bring them a copy of something.
Mm-hmm. That's by design. They do those type of tactics.
Well, like I say, this guy in Bedford, he's Detective Pat Ripley. And, the deal with him was I would go in and he'd have the form ready. And it's like, anything changed? No. Okay, sign here. I give my thumbprints. And then we'd sit around for an hour talking about motorcycles and stuff because, we had a lot of common interest. He'd tell me about how my neighbors speak so highly of me and things. So, but, I got no proof of any of this. It's not, why do I think I need to write that down for me, and sign it? Why do I think I'm going to need that in 2023?
Yeah, and people keep asking that question. Why did they not take this girl to a physician to check her? And you said that they did, and that her hymen was intact.
Well, no. When she went in for the yeast infection, my wife questioned the doctor. Did he think that she had been molested?
No,
and out
I
here
was
it's
reading
because
the fact. I was
my
reading the
ex-wife
fact.
was very prone to yeast infections, but that's just go ahead.
Yeah, I was reading the
But
chat.
the doctor told her at the time, no, I don't think that could happen because her hymen is still intact.
So why would a lawyer? That's just what I can't wrap my head around. Why would a lawyer tell you not to take it to trial?
Because we
Because
all know that that's what
there,
attorneys are paid to do. And it doesn't mean I'm defending this guy, but at the same time, I got a 12-year-old daughter. And if I was ever charged with the things that you were charged with, if it wouldn't matter if I had a lawyer or not, and I was having to defend myself, and everybody telling me take the deal, I'd look at the judge and say, "Fuck you, I ain't taking no deal. We taking it to trial." And
yeah,
that's what I would do.
I've
It's not
heard
my opinion.
I've heard that a lot of times from people who aren't standing there with that 20-year prison sentence hanging over their head. It's real
Yeah,
easy to say when you're
I
not
like
in
how
that
people
place.
are volunteering you for jail. That's just
Right.
they're taking the risk for you to go to
Right.
jail for you. Nice
Yeah.
judgmentalism. That's a bunch of crap.
Right. Yeah, because he's definitely looking at some fucking time. Otherwise, if he knows he's got to do 10 years probation, like that's a long time. But if he knows he's not guilty, then he's not going to have a problem not fucking up. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, there's so many
Versus,
areas you could fuck up
versus
and
they
get a
send you to the
violation. It
joint
don't
for
have to be the same
fucking 5
crime.
years.
Yeah, but you got motherfuckers, they could steal a candy bar or get accused of such and violate a 10-year probation. I have a friend that had an assault case because a racist guy came out behind him in a bar and he ended up stomping that dude into a coma and he took a 10-year plea. And I was like, ooh, I would have took a couple years in prison over 10 years probation.
No, I don't think you would have enjoyed 2 hours in prison as a sex offender.
No, I'm not talking about in your case.
Yeah.
In your case, you don't want to be even in the county jail, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, I had to spend some
He didn't know
time there.
nothing about the law.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't know shit. All he could do is depend on these lawyers. So.
Yes, like I said, you probably didn't hear. I got a traffic ticket in 1975. I got one when I was 16. That would have been 1970. And that's my experience with the police.
Well, Bird said he's going to take charge of checking all your records, so
Yeah, I hope he does.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll pull all of that out.
Well, that's one less thing that we got to worry about. Me and you people fucking FOIA and all this bullshit, dude. Cause yeah, we've been busy. So.
I mean, yeah, honestly, with y'all taking care of that water situation, you guys need alleviated off of some things.
Oh, it's way more than a water situation. There's way more going on here than we can even put on the YouTube, man. Let's just say
I wouldn't doubt it.
And there was another part of this trial. I felt like my daughter was already being traumatized enough by what my ex-wife was putting her through. And I didn't want to add to that by having her have to go through a trial. In that particular aspect of it, I was willing to fall on that sword for her.
Well, I mean, you should have thought when you was going to go with a guilty conviction, regardless, you was going to be ostracized in certain communities.
Yes. Actually, it hasn't really been that bad because, like I've said, back in Bedford, I had neighbors that took up for me that I didn't even knew I was a registered sex offender because they said, I know him. No, this is bullshit. It has to be some kind of bullshit.
Well, I'm out of here, fellas. I wish you all the best. Hopefully, you don't get wind of all kinds of trolls and bullshit, because I have appreciated the work that you and you people have been doing, good citizen.
We appreciate that.
I'm gonna catch you guys later, bro.
All right, bro. Yeet, Token Vet, you got any questions? We've been going for about 2 hours. I think this is a good place to stop it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest too. I kind of forgot my question whenever Dumb Fuck took over.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us as usual, ladies and gentlemen. your opinions on the conversation. Like we said, kind of not fully prepared, but shit happens. So just got to take it as we can. That's pretty much where we're at. So everybody in chat, thank you for showing up. Good, bad. If you want to hit that thumbs up, hit that thumbs down. That's awesome. And we'll catch you on the next one, guys.
All right, guys. Later.
Peace, love, and anarchy, folks.